YouTube, Tomb 45 Academy is Beam, and today I got a client here that I'll be showing and demonstrating a low ball taper. I'm gonna be keeping the C cups, but I'm gonna be keeping everything wide and bring everything forward on this haircut. I'm gonna show you guys levels to fade in, techniques to creating symmetrical lineups, and razor sharp images throughout today's video. So if you're new to this channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to get alerted when the videos come out. Let's get right to it. All right, YouTube, so to kick this video off and to kick off a majority of what I'm gonna be doing throughout this haircut, I'm noticing that my client has a natural like curly nappy top or whatever, and he wants to basically accentuate that with a clean low taper. So what I basically did was I went in and I started to pick my outer ridges of the sides, and I basically want to pick my outer areas of the fro, anything that I know for a fact that's gonna stick completely off of the head and out of its way. And I wanna go in using my Babyliss FX1 setup. This is the roll setup, so if you guys like this, you could always get this on the Babyliss website. I wanna go in completely closed. A lot of people that start this new, I want you guys to start open and get used to freehanding. Yes, you won't remove a lot of hair, but if you're able to get just used to freehanding, so that's open, but I'm gonna go completely closed just because of years of experience and me going completely closed. I just basically want to keep the fro contour to the head. I don't want to give it a new shape, but I want to keep it contoured to the head, and it will allow me to blend into majority of the bulk because it's like I'm technically blending without using guards. I'm just setting myself up and setting up my foundation for majority of my taper area. So when you cutting a lot of like African hair or super curly or super coily hair, you don't have to use as many guards as if you would use for straight hair, because you have to get under straight hair. You know, it's completely different, but you don't have to get under, you know, super curly or coiled hair. You can go in with the comb and comb outwards towards you. And once you comb outwards towards you, already kind of got like a taper or a fade. I just want to contour it a little bit more and just the most simplest way, create a clean border for myself to be ready to taper into. Looking at them from a front angle and looking at everything that's hanging over and just using the hilt of my blade, the middle ridged area of my blade. And I actually want to use the back of my blade. I can rest the back of my blade on his head. I can tilt it in towards the hilt and float clean across anything that's sticking out or protruding outside of what I want it to be. As you guys can see, simple, clean. I see that his hair is super light, but I don't want him to go back to his dark spots here. I want to be able to preserve majority of the lineup here. So as you guys can see, you have to be very mindful of light spots in the lineup that we will bring more in-depthness to. Don't push somebody back just because it's more of a darker area. I'm going to be able to preserve as much hair as possible to pull everything forward. So with that being said, let's start the taper guideline. Solidify my first guideline towards the bottom. First guideline is established. My next step is to go in with my clippers, and I want to go in completely open, a 1/2 inch, using just the edge of my blade because my taper area is smaller. I don't want to create a super big gap in his hair by being reckless with how I'm fading. So I want to stay on my edge of my clipper, and staying on the edge of my clipper is allowing me to create a super thin, faint line. And I want to go behind that with a number 1 guard, completely open with the grain. And I'm just gonna go with the grain just to feather this area out so I don't have to do as much fade work. And as you guys can see, even in beginning stages, I'm talking about first year, second year barber, a lot of people will kind of be happy with the area that they are in terms of this fade right now, because the fade will sit pretty much low. I won't do a lot, but also we're gonna do enough to create this form of gradiency throughout this taper to really give the haircut a modern day look. Like, I think what people be forgetting with a lot of these like African Afro styles is you can be very different throughout these haircuts. Majority of them kind of look the same, but when you setting guidelines and once you're setting taper areas, you have to do those respectfully to the client's head shape. Everything is head shape. So I understand that everybody can't have the same haircut, but if you understand someone's head shape, you can give them the best haircut they can possibly take based on their hair shape. So as you guys can see, I went open and then I went to a number 1 with the grain, then a number 1 against the grain. Now I want to go in and I just want to etch. I'm going to drop my clippers halfway and I'm going to go in and etch on the corner of my blade like I showed you guys in previous video. I'll rock to my right here, rock a little bit to my left here, rock to my right here, a little bit to my left here. And just staying on those edges is allowing me to feed specific hairs through the teeth, giving myself this gradient transition look that I'm actually looking for. Like at the end of the day, every pass or every time you touch somebody with the clippers won't be super clean, but as long as you understand your steps and understand your system, you can make your haircut as clean as possible. A lot of people be like, man, my blend isn't exactly how I want it to be. As long as you got a good enough blend to get yourself through the lineup, do the lineup, and after you do the lineup, then you go back and you refine your blend. Now I wanna rotate to the beard. I'm gonna go completely open, drop them halfway, and I'm doing everything that I did up top, just in a reverse manner on the beard. Going in with that #1 guard, completely open. On the hilt of the blade, staying elevated and just feeding specific hairs through the teeth of my clippers. Cool, same steps here on the back. One thing that I'm noticing about this client is a lot of his hair grows inwards. From the left side, this hair is growing this way. From the right side, that hair is growing this way. So I'm gonna start completely open, right at the bottom. Going up at least of 1 inch. No matter the indentations that get in the way, you just keep cutting through them all. That's open and it already looks as if it's not even open. I'm gonna go in with a 0.5 guard, open. Another 1/2 inch. It's like already blending itself halfway here. You don't have to overly fade areas that kind of like are lightly and fainted like this because these areas kind of blend themselves. Now I wanna go in with a 1.5 guard, open, and just really just play on the hilt, on the edge of my client's tapered area. You don't want to over pursue this area, but you want to do enough for it to still be clean, for it to still be consistent, for it still to be blended as best as possible. And as you guys can see, I'm gonna turn them a tad bit. Everything is literally like, it's happening exactly how I need it to and exactly how I want it to. And sometimes just take the guard off and reshape the work that we did earlier. So now making it back to this side, exactly where I want to be. Guideline there. Clear this panel out, take it as easy as possible. Starting completely open. Now that that's completely open, I wanna go with my #1 guard. Keeping everything as consistent as possible, but also trying to give it that modernized look. You see it from a different angle, but from like being behind it, it's like almost blended. Because I'm telling you, when you're dealing with more curly and coily hair, a lot of it is just, you don't have to use as many guards because if you understand hair flow and the pattern and direction of the hair, that you can cut so many corners cutting this type of hair. Same thing here, halfway. Fully closed. Back open. Some people like to keep the front of their lineup super dark. What I want to do in the front of this lineup is just trim it down a bit, just to really, like I said, over exaggerate the spots that I will have to really focus on. Seeing that the lining is super light here and the lineup is super light on this side, as you guys seen previously in the beginning of the video before, I want to go in with my clippers, and with my clippers, I want to go in completely open. And as you guys can see, raking method, completely open with the grain. It's almost like you lining them up without lining them up. Because I'm feeding specific hairs through it, I'm not trimming the hair down to one desired length, but I'm lowering some of this hair, prepping it for me to get into a lot of the lineup work. And I just want to mist the front of the client's head. Misting the front of the client's head, get it to where I know for a fact that the product grabs the client's hair. And when a product grabs the client's hair, it just let me know that they're locked in. My next step, I want to accentuate this beard because I do something that's called a frame out process. So I want to go in using a product from Tune 45, the Tune 45 called the hair building fibers. As you guys can see, I'm using the mocha brown color, which is basically like a dark brown color for me. I want to go in and look at all of the light spots throughout the beard and just slowly but surely start to disperse a little bit of color throughout majority of the light spots. And the reason that I'm doing this is it's going to allow me to get a beard more of a dense look. It's more of a temporary thing just to really, just to really give my clients more of a fuller look in terms of the beard. The nape area, I want to just brush down. So I'll start in the nape, then as realistic as I can be in the nape area, not pressing too hard, but giving myself a clean, solidified line here in the back of the nape area. And as you guys see me clear this panel out, I'm gonna fold the ear down with one finger. I'm gonna use the tip of my teeth to work myself all the way around this corner to stay consistent, solid through and through throughout this haircut. And as you guys can see, we got a solid nape line. Because my frame out work for me is a way for me to start to see my ending result before I even get there. And with frame out work, I'm just on the back of the beard, creating consistent, clean lines, taking my image to the next level. I'm starting to see sharpness, I'm starting to see readiness. It's putting me in a mode of knowing that I'm getting to where I'm trying to get to. Back of the beard line is clean. Repeat the same steps on the back of the nape line. And remember, just because somebody don't like what you doing as a barber, if somebody don't agree with something that you doing as a barber, but it make you feel happy about what you doing, as long as it's not your clients, if it's other barbers, like, this is my message for a lot of upcoming barbers. They don't know how to grow their personality in the shop. And this is not even really a gym, but it's so much more of, bro, do what you like to do. Do what makes you happy in terms of your haircuts. And if it makes your clients happy, don't allow somebody to make you feel bad about the things that you're doing or the services that you are providing to your clients specifically. Because at times like that, it can make barbering feel distasteful at times and make you not love it as much as you used to. So now I want to get into my most important parts of my lineup, which you guys will learn throughout the Art of the Lineup course that we're now currently working on. I always create what I call reference points and play connect the dots with the lineup to give myself a straight lineup. As you guys can see, hair is light here, but hair gets dark here. And a barber that does not understand and know what's going on, they'll take what's natural here and push it all the way back to here. Then the grow back is completely disgusting. Preserve all of your hair unless your client forcefully asks you, I want my lining to be back in the dark spots. So as you guys can see, I wanna go in and solidify a clean line. And sometimes these lines won't be as clean as you want them to be because the hair is so faint, it's so thin. Like when lights is on hair like this, you gotta really pay attention and be in a zone. As I turn him a bit, now you can see the lightness. And it didn't make sense to knock all this down and make that light, because at that point you're destroying the haircut. It's a reason why I'm preserving majority of this hair. And it's for steps later down the line. So as I create that first vertical bar, now I can roll to the other vertical bar, create my second reference point to allow me to create a straight line. Starting with as thin as possible and making majority of this hair be what this hair needs to be. So going from the tip of the nose to the highest part of the lineup, drop this red line down to here. And as you guys can see, that's where my center point needs to be. So I go up with my trimmers, slightly but surely tapping. You don't have to press once your trimmers are in the mode that they need to be in. Now I have a center point. So now I have 3 reference points. I have reference A, reference B, and reference C now. Slowly work it, slowly work it, slowly work it, slowly work it. I'm never pressing. My clippers are too strong, and I know if I overpress, I'll damage my client's skin. So what I wanna do is I wanna create one small indentation here, and then I wanna go here and create another small indentation. And granted, there's no hair here, so you would think, Beam, how would you do that? But if I turn him a tad bit, you can see where I just put that indentation. Because of the hole and spray, it creates this ghost effect that you can line hair that's not even there. This is reference point A, which is another point. This is reference point B. And now I find the center in between those two to bring this C shape to life. It's simple as that. And I've always been known for color. I've always been known for the electrifying, razor sharp, symmetrical, super crispy looks. With that being said, I am bringing you guys my product that I designed for Tomb 45 along with my business partners Chris Basio and Danny, the Beam Team Cordless Compressor XL. This is the strongest compressor on the market, double times the PSI, double time the airflow. Everything is completely different. Self-sensing tank to completely stop, so it'll run while it's on. You let it go, and then the motor stops. So as you know, guys know, that saves 30 to 40% of your battery. And now we're about to start to get to color. Beam Team Cordless Compressor on, and I'm bursting to slowly disperse color on the client's skin, allowing the color to stick really well. Applying the same thing for the C cup, using the rounded area of the card, putting just color in the lighter areas. Starting here, and then I'll meet myself back in the middle. Because once I lay a waterproof base, I need to build on that foundation. A liquid color has a liquid color look, but hair fibers have more of a dense, hairy look, and that's the look that you want. Spray right into those non-dense areas, giving them more of a hairy look. With liquid, you can't build on top of hair, but with hair fibers stack on top of hair. I just want to hit any extra residue that's coming off of the client's head, or any extra residue when I was applying fibers that sprayed over the card. And I just want to move that extra residue. My next step now is to use the Tomb 45 Precision Pack Pencil, which to me is the best pencil on the market. We designed this pencil to be double-sided so you don't have to go through multiple pencils. Also, the sharpeners are so much better on our pencils. What the lead and what the color of the inside of the pencil is made out of is also another key factor to it, of it just being an organic product that is designed to be used on skin. I'm gonna start here towards the middle, work myself to the right, and creating super thin lines. Now doing this vertical bar. Same thing here with the front of the lineup. I want to use my clipper as my blending brush to blend this line and basically disperse and spread this color that I just initiated around the skin to make it more of a concealed, contrasted look. And as you guys can see, you don't need to do a lot of this pencil. It just brings more of like an ash effect / concealed look. It's the same thing when women do their eyebrows. They'll line them up or they'll clean them up first, and they'll go behind them and they'll add any add-in or fill-in to make the eyebrows darker. Then they conceal them at the end to give them that crispy, clean pop look. And that's the only thing that I'm doing. I'm just accentuating it and doing it in a barber game. So I took something that I seen in the beauty hair industry and started to apply it to my haircuts. And look how much more sharper my haircuts, the images that I'm getting towards the end of my haircuts now is taking me like through the roof in terms of my potential of my finishes and in terms of satisfying my clients. Stretch your skin, find the highest point of the beard, which is here, and bring everything to this high part. Like I said, do what make you happy. Do what make you stay in the pocket to where you can give out some of the best haircuts. Don't do something just because somebody else is doing it. Understand and know why somebody is doing something. Dust it off, because we use holding spray. Remember, you do something one time, it does not mean that it is finished. Now, same thing here. I just want to go in and hit the tips of the mustache. Don't really want to do too much. I don't want to take too much off, but I want to accentuate and just bring some life to the mustache area. Can't be sharp everywhere else and not be sharp in this area. Beautiful. Bring your head down some right there. All right, YouTube, it's your boy Beam. Today I was able to teach you guys how to fade into this afro coily hair, how to basically set yourself up for transitions. I also showed you guys a high level of being symmetrical, razor sharp, how to apply enhancements on all ends and both ends. Always, 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 I appreciate you guys for watching the videos. If you're new, or even if you're not new, please hit the like button, hit the share button, drop a comment, hit the notification bell to get alerted when the videos come out. I'm Beam, and today was my pleasure giving you guys some of my game. I'm out of here.